Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon to everybody around the world. Welcome back to the One Piece video featuring Yamato. Get ready for a very spicy deck profile featuring OP12 here on the channel, let alone a leader in which seems to be everybody's favorite, and yet we are long overdue for a Yamato deck list here on the channel. I apologize, man, there's been so many decks out there that I want to get into. We finally got a little bit more support here with Yamato. Now, with that being said, we are going to be utilizing new cards like things like Dead Man's Game, the 8-cost Mihawk, the 5-cost Jewelry Bonnie. We have a lot of stuff to play around with, whether it's going to be in this video and then the following Yamato video, because you guys will be getting two different deck lists here. Stay tuned. Without further ado, we're going to go ahead and dive into this deck list here, see what we got cooking up, and why. If you guys remember my previous video of Yamato, it's been a little bit, I think it was back in OP11, we played around with a variation similar to this, just not entirely. We were utilizing this here, in which this is basically the shell. I feel like this Supernova package is very consistent, did very well for me. A lot of people very much like this one. So our new list will be utilizing a deck list as similar as this one, except for with a little bit of changes. If you notice, this one was utilizing Straw Sword. Considering there was a lot of Blackbeards and stuff at the time of OP11, he was doing pretty good. I felt like Straw Sword was pretty strong into that matchup, so you know, this is why we use this card here. But overall, the deck list has changed ever so slightly. If we go back and look at OP12 and what I'm cooking up now, it's just a little bit different. Not so much, but just a little bit. We're utilizing things like the 4-cost Ryuma. I never used this card in Yamato. If you guys go back and look at any of my previous builds from way back when, I never used this card. And I feel like going into this metagame, this could be pretty good. Considering your opponent has to make do, whether or not they want to lose a body on board or try to remove this guy, I think it's pretty solid here. And with the option of being able to utilize the 3-cost Mihawk to play down either Ryuma or a Hawkins, it can be pretty strong. This is a 6k body, of course, with no counter, but again, on play, it has a KO effect, and then when he's KO'd, he also has a KO effect. So, it's like a double dip. Now, I don't think it's going to do very well. I don't think it's going to catch on. We may only pop this down maybe once or twice in a game. Who knows? We are playing a very aggressive style leader, so the matches might not go long enough before I can get value with this, but we're going to play around with it for a little bit. The other cards here in which I typically don't utilize are going to be the 5-cost Jewelry Bonnie and then the 1-drop Bonnie Searcher. You typically see this card here in a Fortress build of Eustace Kid. Arguably, you can say this is a Fortress build, but it's more so a Supernova, and I wanted consistency. The downside with this 1-drop, there's a lot of removal when it comes to being able to clear small bodies, because Rob Lucci is still around and Sakazuki is back. So this doesn't necessarily always stick on board long enough to get value, and it can get bottom decked removed very easily. Therefore, your opponent doesn't really have to attack into it. Then on top of that, this monster exists. So I'm going to go back and cut Jewelry Bonnie and go back up to my Ezos, just because I feel like this gives me more consistency with the banish swings. This also becomes a blocker. But for today's videos, today's games, we're going to utilize Jewelry Bonnie just for consistency when it comes to searching out my Eustace Kids and my other 8-drop Eustace Kid. Again, upcoming, we're going to cut this just to go back into 2 more Ezos. Just letting you know. Now, we do have some new cards here with Dead Man's Game. Unfortunately, it's just Straw Hat Crew, so it's not searchable in my variation of Yamato, but I need to see at least 3 to 4 copies in every list that I can come up with and have come up with. This is a very strong card. Being able to rest 4 Dawn in total to rest up to 2 of your opponent's characters or Dawn is very good. You spend 4, then you have 6 Dawn left, which makes you be able to swing for 11k if you already have a Hody and Jones in play. At this point, this also swings for 2 once you attach extra Dawn to it. It's very strong. You will utilize this a lot in Yamato and in Zoro decks as well. And I think a lot of people already hate this card, but you know, each their own. Now, outside of what you see here, we will be diving into another list in a different Yamato video, which will follow this one. You guys should have that one on Saturday. Probably on Saturday. But we're going to get into it then, which will be playing around with cards such as like Mihawk here. I want to show you guys another deck variation that I am playing around with this. It's not, I'm not, how you say, like, fully confident in it just yet. This is why this video here will come out on Saturday when I show you guys this list. I do very much enjoy Mihawk, and I think he's pretty strong in Yamato. This is why we're playing around with things like Paradise Waterfall. But in this particular build, Mihawk does not fit. Therefore, we have Eustace Kid. You don't need to run both, right? But ideally, we're going to dive into a bunch of games today. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, as I typically say, I have no idea how many games we're going to do today. We are playing an aggro deck, so we might get 12 games, we might get 8. I'm not entirely sure. I'm going to try to keep this around an hour, roughly. Maybe a little bit shorter if possible, but maybe an hour at most. In any case, we're diving into a matchup today with Yamato, playing into Sakazuki, which I don't necessarily think should be any different than before, outside of the fact that your boy has no Moria and he has no Ice Age, so he's in for a rough time. Now, we play a lot of small bodies on board with things like Mihawk and Hawkins and all that sort of thing. He does have the removal to be able to bottom deck these with things like Houndblaze and whatever that other 2-cost event is with the long name. I don't remember. You guys know what I'm talking about. The blue one, the navy one. He's just got a lot of ways to avoid things like the Hawkins, which is unfortunate. There's the Houndblaze. Go 6. That's cool. And I feel like in most of my matchups with Yamato, I don't care if they're going for face and just dealing damage. That's totally fine. Especially when it comes to these 4 life leaders. We can just be so aggressive so quickly, especially with banish plays and stuff. This matchup shouldn't really change all too much. Definitely when I can starve Sakazuki, which is kind of cool. Yeah, I guess we can just go 7 here realistically, drop another Mihawk into an X-Drake and get 3 bodies on board technically. Or we can just go 5, right? We swing 5. We swing 5. In hopes he gives us a card, okay? I feel like most of the time my opponents are more obligated to just guard out of 5Ks instead of just taking that hit, you know? Whereas when it's a 7 or 8 or whatever, sure, they'll take the smack. But in this case, we get down 3 bodies in a turn. We have 4 bodies on board on turn 3 already, and Sakazuki has 4 cards in hand, so, I mean, we're looking pretty good. Now, with Rosinante here, he has a little bit harder of a harder time to remove bodies, so he has to be forced to remove Rosinante first before he can pop anything else, because Rosie can save the rested characters, which is kind of nice. Go 6 here, that's fine. That's unfortunate, but it's okay. It's all good. Okay, let's see. We have Hody in hand here. We're definitely playing this down on curve. Yep. There's a Dead Man's Game. I'm not necessarily in any danger of him winning the game the following turn because we can clear the board here, which is nice. We are still going to try to clear the Brook and get cards out of hand if possible. I still do need to do a damage to him though. Actually, you know what? This is probably not smart. We need to go for Brook first in case we give him counter to protect the Brook. But we'll go 5 here first. He should pitch cards here. Yep, cool. Gives me a 2K, which is nice. Let's go 4 here. Cool. And now we'll put in the 3 life. Weirdly enough, this isn't how we typically would play this matchup, but these are the cards we were dealt. Okay, we got no banish swings. It be what it be. Sometimes it's like that, so. There's Dashigi. What does she get back here? Okay, Suru. I'm not necessarily worried about much outside of things like a Rob Lucci coming down and popping my board. That would kind of suck. But I think he does still need to do a little bit here before he's able to do that, because there's no Ice Age. So unless he's running something like Soap Sheep, to play a Soap Sheep here for 2, then a Rob Lucci afterwards to pop both Mihawks, I think we're chilling. I mean, you can have that one, that's fine. Sure. Still 6 Dawn left. There's the Brook. 3 left here. What do you do for 3? Okay, 2 Brooks. Fair enough. There's another Mihawk here. I think we've seen most of our Mihawks, actually. We do have Tashigi in hand, which is nice. We can go ahead and rest this, play Tashigi down. And then he should have a difficult time removing this body on board, especially when he has no big bodies to combat Kid. So we can leave up 1 Dawn for Dead Man's Game or a Paradise Waterfall here as well. And then we can just go 5 lead and force him to give me cards for free, because he only has 2 in hand. I think this will probably land here. Well, he still has to remove the Kid, right? That means he needs to do double removal this turn, because he has to remove Tashigi first. 2k? Sure. That's the Suru we got back earlier from the Tashigi. We'll go 8 to face. Put him on 2, we'll attach the Dawn to Kid, and we'll pass it over. And I believe next turn we should have this one, which is kind of nice. Unfortunately, we kind of low-rolled this game with the Mihawks, but the Mihawks also gave me a lot of bodies on board, which is kind of nice. It's kind of double-edged, right? To be fair. Alright, so that's -1. You can easily remove the Tashigi here with the Brooks, right? You can go 5 or 6 or whatever, and then minus it, and then swing with Brook, and then pop the Tashigi. That's fine. He doesn't necessarily have a lot of options here, especially with 3 cards in hand. And he didn't take any of my Yamato swings, so I'm pretty certain your boy is cooked. So there's the Houndblaze. It's the bottom deck Tashigi. Goes up to 8k. Unfortunately, we don't have any counter to protect the Kid here, which is fine, right? It's okay. This means he's also going to remove Hody Jones as well. Give it the minus, which makes it a 6k. He's got 2 cards left in hand. 6. Sure. We still need to see either a Hody Jones next turn, or potentially play down the 8-cost Kid. And then 8-cost Kid can draw his counter. That's going to get back the Rebecca blocker. Yep. There's the Rebecca. Then she gets... Okay, Hina from Trash. Sure. That's cool. Totally forgot she was in there, actually. Yep. Sure. Hey, actually. I think we're good here. So we play Kid down, we pop a life, right? And then we get the cycle at the end of the turn. Burn life first. There's the thing. Go 5 in Asaka, so you can put him on 0. He should be guarding out regardless here. So I think Rebecca's she's kind of useless if he assumes we have Hody Jones or Dead Man's Game. Yeah, it takes the hit. Fair enough. A little weird. I'll pitch Waterfall here. This gives us 2 events with 6k counter, and then 2 2ks. This is just one of those decks in which, once you see the pieces, you see the pieces. You guys know how aggro works. 7 lead. We'll do a Dead Man's Game here to go to 9k. So he's got 7 Dawn left. He needs to attach 3 and 3 to Brook to swing for 7. And then Sokka can swing for 7. Or sorry, 6, but I guess he messed up here? Where's that math? Oh, sorry, he had 8 Dawn left. That's my fault. I can't math. So now there's 2 7k swings. What you doing, bud? Come on. You got this. I believe in you. I'm not sure what else he can get back from trash here with Mancherry. I think it's just better for him to go 7 and 7 and see what you know what happens. There he goes. We can take this hit and then give him counter for the next one. Another 2k counter. Nice to see. Oh, we had Houndblaze. Well, that could have been bad. Oh, not really. We've been fine anyway. Yeah, we've been fine anyway. Math. Good game, bud. Let's dive into some more. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. This matchup might be boring, honestly. It might be. But Blackbeard, meta deck, very strong. We definitely can lose, considering all of our abilities in this list is still on play, outside of things like X-Drake. So we're not going to get Mihawk value, we're probably not going to get Hody value. Of course, we don't get the Burn Life, but we won't be able to get Banish Swings off unless he decides to forget a turn or decides to be nice and let me do it. I don't see this one ending well. So now we did get Hawkins in hand, which at least that's a free body on board, doing 5k every turn, until he decides to remove it. And we're going to play this matchup kind of slow as Yamato. I don't want to give Blackbeard too many cards. So we will be swinging 5ks at most, maybe 6, just to get cards out of hand. There's a black hole, so he has removal for my Hawkins already, which suck. But what are you gonna do? Because next turn he goes to 5. He plays that down on top of maybe a 1-drop searcher. But regardless, he's going to be able to remove Hawkins for free without losing life, which does suck. My boy's taking 10 years. Okay, got Vasco shot from his stage search. I totally missed that. The power of editing. This is going to be one of those videos. So he pitched a .Q to use leader skill. Okay. Plays down Vasco shot. We have 4 Dawn up. 3 in hand already, by the way, which is kind of crazy, to be fair. We're just going to go 5 lead, man. I want to establish Hawkins if possible. If he wants to give me the black hole already, that's fine. My other option here is playing down Tashigi and then Jewelry Bonnie. In this case, we just get down a body. So I need that going into the following turn. Because he has to make a choice here whether or not to play down something like Von Augur here or removal for the Hawkins. And the good thing about that is if he plays down the removal, he goes to 3 cards in hand, then he has to pitch one for stage and leader skill, which makes him go to 2. De Rosinante. Yep, okay. So there's the black hole. He goes to 2 cards this turn, assuming he uses leader ability. Yep. Throws away Doctor for stage again. Finds another black hole. Alright. That's cool. We're at 6 next turn too, which is pretty okay. We haven't been able to establish a body on board to get it to stick yet though, other than Rosinante here. Black Spiral, so he throws that away for leader skill. Now remember, in hand he has 1 black hole, and I don't know what the other card is. I guess we'll take a Eustace Kid. That's really all I can get here. I mean, I guess I could take out the 1-drop Searcher Luffy, but we've already found the kid. Okay, so we're at 4. Can't do much else really. So I guess we can play down Tashigi here, and then go 6 to face, and then force the 2k if he has it in hand or not. Which is fine. We'll pass turn actually, never mind. Because we don't have Banish here, if I swing he goes to 5 cards this turn. Which ideally doesn't sound good. At least this turn he has to pitch one for stage and then he has to throw one away again for leader skill, which pushes him back down to 2. And he can't clear anything on board right now with the Shigi being down. So next turn we can establish Eustace Kid or Hody Jones. And I don't mind doing Hody, especially when he turns off my leader skill, right? Or sorry, turns off my own plays. I mean, sure, you got it. That's fine. She serves a purpose. Or drew the cards we needed. Okay. Plays Kuzan down, trashes Kuzan, draws a free card, gets Burgess, sorry. He still has to pitch one for full lead. There goes Von Augur. Okay. So he still has Black Hole in hand and one random card we don't know yet. Draws another stage. Okay, throws that away for leader ability, plays Vasco's shot, so he has Black Hole left in hand. And that's it. If only we weren't Black Holed here. Because we have the X-Drake here, which can rest, you know, this or the blocker. I'd rather rest Burgess than go into it. Because we know he doesn't have any counter in hand, right? So he's going to be forced to block here. And we should be able to remove both bodies on board this turn. He's not going to attach the 3 to Tashigi and then run into the Burgess. And he can't do anything about it. Which is nice. And there we go, boys. We're playing the control deck now. Alright. Control Yamato. Which is crazy. But, again, Black Hole in hand. So he could Black Hole one of our bodies and attack into the other one here. That might be ideal for him this turn. But then he would have no cards in hand, actually. Because he'd have to pitch the other one for leader skill. Alright, so we're going 5 into this. I kind of want to save this, honestly. I know it's probably silly, but yeah, let's save this and then force him to actually use an event here. If he wants to remove my bodies on board. Come on. Use the Black Hole. I believe in you. I think that would be a mistake, though, because he'd go to 0. Yeah, he'd go to 0 cards in hand here. Me not swinging that one turn, I think really just like set the tempo for this game. Because otherwise he'd be at, what, 3 to 4 cards in hand right now? But then he could afford to play down the Black Hole to remove 2 bodies and swing into the other one, which he did here. So that would mean he probably could attach more Dawn and swing into the X-Drake, perhaps, then Black Hole the Tashigi. He would still have cards in hand for leader skill. Just small things I think about here. Hey, the power of editing. Blackbeard is taking 10 years. There's the 10 cost teach. And then he has to pitch the Black Hole, I assume. Yep, there's the Black Hole. So for sure we know he has 10 cost teach on the next turn. So this means we can actually play Hody here without having to rip life. And we also get a guaranteed 5k swing. Because it doesn't necessarily matter what he draws here. I assume he's going to play Teach next turn. Regardless, right? So he shouldn't be developing any other bodies on board for like removal. I think it'll just be 10 cost Teach. Which in that case, he's going to lock down Hody Jones, make it not be able to swing in the following turn. And that's still okay. Yep. No trigger. Thank you. Let's actually play Kid here. Because Kid can do... What, play Rosinante down? And we have the Tashigi on board, so... That's fine. I guess Hody gets another hit in, though, pushes him to 2. Which isn't necessarily bad, but this is okay. Because we can play Bonnie, we do a search here as well, find another 2k counter, or not. I guess we'll take the Jewelry Bonnie instead. So there's that. Yep. There's the Teach. He's going to lock down Eustace Kid. Yep. So that can't attack or use as a thing next turn. Which is unfortunate. There's 5 lead here. That's fine. We'll give you the Bonnie. Do you want to cycle out for stage? I'd imagine so. I think he needs to find another teach. Throws away a 2k counter. Okay. Unfortunately, we don't know any cards in hand anymore. But we know that he needs to find a second teach to probably succeed, or sorry, probably to, ooh, finds another stage. That's good. Throws away a stage for leader ability. There's another Hody Jones. So we can't attack with Kid, and we can't use his leader skill at all. Sorry, his skill at all, which is unfortunate. We do find a Jewelry Bonnie off that search, which is not bad. Unfortunately, it's an on play, which is not going to help us out. But I guess we're going to have to take either this or the use this Kid here. The second Kid is probably irrelevant, right? But we might have an opportunity of playing it down. 2, 9. This is free, technically. Yeah, because then we can replace the Bonnie. We get another free swing in. 2 cards in hand. I kind of want to keep the Dawn up for a Waterfall, or at least 1 Dawn up for a Waterfall. I can't do anything here either, which is unfortunate. We have 1 for a Waterfall. Let's go 6 lead. He did throw away a 2k for the stage, so guards here, yep, of course. This will be a free damage here. Yeah, we'll just attach this to Kid. I don't know why we attached that to Kid, honestly. We should attach that to the Tashigi. Or the X-Drake. Probably the X-Drake, right? That's my bad. That's my bad. Because if we would have swung in with the Tashigi, it gets rested, and then we can't save the Hody Jones. I guess we can, because it's going to be KO'd, right? Unless he utilizes another, like, Black Hawk. Or, sorry, Black Hole with, like, cost reduction. Yeah, so we probably should just attach those to X-Drake and went 5 there. That's my fault. But it's all good. Because he's going to need to see another use this Kid here. Or another teach. My bad. Goodness, man. Alright, another 10 cost teach. Does the same thing again. I mean, I guess. Oh, sweet. There's the game. Nice. That actually just won us the game here. Because I think if we didn't have this, we'd have to swing with Tashigi, X-Drake, Hody, and Leader the following turn. He only has 2 blocks up. Which, it doesn't matter what he guards. I think we would have the Dawn to invest and go for it. But then we would lose the following turn. You know what I mean? Because we don't have enough counter in hand to protect out against the teaches. We only have 1 Rosinante on board. Maybe we were fine. Dead Man's definitely does change things, though, which is nice. It's pretty good. And he didn't use leader skill, by the way, which is crazy. Sorry, buddy. You brought this on yourself. What if, though? What if he has the counter here? Okay, well played. Because he's going to need, what, 3 2Ks? Which we know he doesn't have, which is nice. He had 2 2Ks, though. Close, actually. Spook. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Coming at you guys another matchup today with Yamato, playing into the mirror matchup, unfortunately. Now, this matchup is not necessarily difficult. I know a lot of people do struggle against Yamato as Yamato. I don't understand it. I don't get it. I've always taken this match the same way, even though going into OP12 right now, it's pretty simplistic. As long as Yamato doesn't have the banish swing, you just take the hit. I guess it really depends on what build you're playing. But if you are running Fortress, taking the early game hits is ideally the best, because you're getting counter for Eustace Kid. Assuming you draw him, or you get him off a trigger, or you already have him in hand. Thankfully we got him off the life, which is good. So this means every hit that Yamato decides to swing in on us, as long as there's no banish, it's irrelevant. Because they do play Hody Jones, right? But they can't get over the Kid. So, being able to slap down 7 Dawn, play Hody Jones, swing in for 10k or what have you is very easy for us to guard out when we have a book in hand, when they have to attack into Eustace Kid. So, Yamato already has 4 cards in hand. We're going to take this one as well. There's a Banished Nami. We'll keep that. And an Izo. We are cooking, boys. So they just set up the life, which is good to know. Let's play down Izo here. That way we have a blocker. We have enough counter in hand to be able to survive as well, which is pretty good. I think we have to go 9k here, just to guarantee this attack getting through. And we still have the counter left over, sorry, the Dawn left over, to invest in the Izo with Arrested, which is nice. So that way we have the block up as well. And we're not going to play anything else down here other than probably the 1-drop Luffy, if anything. So we got a Kinemon and a Momonosuke. Okay, that's fine. So we'll go ahead and give the Dawn to Izo here. So we have a blocker up, go 5 lead. They should guard this one. Yep. So there is their banish, which is irrelevant because we have the blocker on board, so they'd have to rest it first before they play anything down. So that would be like an Izo come down or a 2-cost 9 flash, which they wouldn't have the Dawn investment in order to do. There's 5. We'll guard out here with the 1-drop. So now they're going to go 7. We can guard out with Izo here. We don't need this anymore, because the following turn we can play down Eustace Kid with the Tashigi package, just in case they have any form of removal. So I think they could do if they have electromagnetic cannon, or they have, you know, some sort of removal there, they can pop a Rosinante, you know, or they can pop the Tashigi first, because Hawkins will be safe, which is nice. Well, I guess Hawkins wouldn't be safe, right? Because he's yellow. So yeah, never mind. But anyway, we'll go 5 here first. We get the block, we'll go 5 into Izo again. I don't want to give them cards right now, especially when I know I can, you know, be fine this turn. What could you get off this search? I guess I could find another Momonosuke here, and then put Yamato back in life. I got a Kikinojo instead. Okay. What do you do? Because you're at what, 8? 8 Dawn left? Okay. I'm gonna go 10k in the Kid. We definitely need to keep this on board, obviously, so we're gonna go ahead and block out here. Yamato is gonna swing in for 9 unless they have 9 flash. So we'll give you a 2 and then a 1. I do need to keep the Onami, if possible here. Okay, so 9 here, give you another 2k. And I believe we should be able to win this turn. And we get a Rosinante here, which is pretty good. Will give us the Banish play. Jewelry Bonnie could make an appearance this turn as well. But let's go 9k first. I want to be able to guarantee this, right? Yeah, I think I want to be able to guarantee this. Sure, that's 2 2k counters. That was Hiyori and Izo, which is nice. Well played. Well played. We'll just keep it going. Either way, we're playing into Kobe here. I have never done a matchup into Kobe as Yamato, so I don't necessarily know how this is going to go. That sucks to see both dead mans, honestly. But we got the Kid. I do know we can't remove anything on board with any removal effects, and we don't really have any cards to be able to do that, so his leader ability is kind of irrelevant to us here. Unfortunately, being able to attack with cards that he plays on board, you know, immediately is problematic here, I think, in this matchup. Because he can attack into like our standing blockers, so our Rosinantes and stuff like that, or Jewelry Bonnies. And Kobe does exist, so he does have ways of reducing Kid's power to attack into that as well. So there's a doll, sure. I think they had to play a blocker here too, because if not, we just do another Banish swing. Which does kind of suck, because now we can't really get over that. I can't rest it because of the 4 cost here. I guess we just play it safe, man. We just go 5 lead. Just force more cards out of hand here. There's a 2k. I really want to get down this X-Drake, though. Or not X-Drake, sorry, Hawkins. They're going to play Rosie as well. There's nothing else we can do here besides play Search Bonnie, though. I mean, we can go 5 with Nami. And we get the Search off. We don't need to play Bonnie here, I don't think. So let's do this instead. Just because we've already gotten the Eustace kid, and Bonnie's not good for anything else at this point. We already have the 5-drop, we already have the kids in hand. She's kind of just a 1k counter now. Helmeppo comes down, so he's going to get Kobe. Yep. And this is what I mean when it's problematic, where he can just attack into our standing units. Because there goes our blocker now. That sucks. So that's gone. At least Hawkins should be able to get value no matter what. Because I don't think he's going to be running into Hawkins anytime soon. He does get, like, trash life, which is good. He has a 6k lead. Which makes this a little bit difficult. Because we have to invest more down on Yamato to be able to get those big swings off. Especially with the banished play. And he has 2 blockers here on board. Because we're at 8, right? We could play Kid down. And do the thing. Which is nice. I'd actually rather get down the yellow kid. I know it's crazy. But perhaps he'll burn a lot of resources on the yellow kid just to try to get rid of it. And then maybe we can establish the green kid later. I know it's probably a silly way of thinking, but you never know. Because now we can attach the Dawn to Hawkins here for free. And be able to swing for 7 and hope to get out another damage here or a blocker on board. If you want to go to 1 card in hand, I'll take that too. Please. Give me the counter. Darn, that sucks. I was hoping, man. I was hoping. He might have got a removal trigger. He did. That sucks. So there goes our Hawk. Never mind. There goes the Nami. Okay. I'll pass turn. That's weird. Ooh, we get a banish actually, which is pretty good. I think I'd rather keep the Searcher, right? Because we already have a banished Nami in hand, and he has 2 blockers up. So I think the Searcher gets a little bit more value here. As weird as that sounds, you know? But you gotta do what you gotta do. It is what it is. Alright, where's the Kobe at? Okay, there's Peacock. Find him the Kobe. I'll believe in you. Please don't. I imagine they get another blocker, though, to be fair. Yeah, that's cool. You got lucky. Because I guess we can do the Hody play if we had it. You know what I mean? Okay, so there's Hibari. Minus this 2 the kid. 8 to 7. And then he has another 8 with the Helmeppo. Unless he attaches Dawn to it to pop the kid. I think it's worth guarding this. Because there's no way he doesn't attach the Dawn to Helmeppo to try to get rid of it. At least it's better than him going for my face, you know? Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, you can have that one. We need to save the counter for the green kid, I think. Then he'll go 7 lead. Oh, okay. Okay, there it is. Goes 6 lead. Leaves up 1 Dawn. Interesting. Oh, that's right, the blocker, right? Yeah. Another banished Nami. That's 3 of them, by the way. We got 1 off life there as well. And then we drew into 1. That sucks, man. He's still a blocker due to the fact that he has another black character on board, being Helmeppo. So, he doesn't include himself, which is nice. But if we can perhaps remove the Helmeppo, he still has the doll, so I guess it doesn't really matter there, huh? Need to force these blocks. But he also doesn't have... I don't know. Let's play this, see what we get. Another 2k. 2k is nice. Okay. We actually can make do. Because you can play the X-Drake here and rest the doll or the Ripper, right? That's 1 blocker. We can play the kid down. We can use the kid to play the X-Drake. And do it that way. This might be silly. This might be like super crazy for me to do this, actually. So I guess he could top deck another Honesty Impact. Unless he has one in hand here, it wouldn't really matter. Because if we can remove some of these bodies on board here, this would be pretty good for us. So we'll play the X-Drake, we'll rest a blocker here, rest the doll. And then we can try to remove some bodies here. We'll go 5 here. Nice. I guess I should have attached the Don to Hawkins. No, actually this is fine. I guess it really doesn't matter, right? We'll go 5 lead. I imagine he's going to guard out here instead of going to 0 life. So that's 2 blockers we got out. And then he has 2 attackers left, including himself, which makes 3. This is fun. Just in case we get an event off life here, like a Dead Man's Game or a Paradise Waterfall, we'll leave the Dawn up. This was a very tricky game, that's for sure. So he had the impact. That sucks, man. But I'd imagine if we played down the Tashigi, he couldn't have done that. He would have just gave me like the cost reduction, or sorry, the power reduction, and then he would just ran into it anyway. So I think getting the X-Drake down was okay because we got rid of more blockers on board, and he had to spend 6 on it in order to do that. So in hindsight, it's kind of like a bait, not intentional, but you know what I mean. Because now he can go 6 here. And we have to guard this one. And then we have the counter for the Hibari here, because that should swing for 8k. Math, sometimes. And the next turn we should win. Because he has 1 blocker up. But we have to get the banner swing off. Which we have the X-Drake to do that, by the way. Because he didn't clear that. He tried to go for game. Because I guess if he didn't go for game there, he definitely wasn't going to survive next turn regardless. Because we have, what, 3 attackers on board here? So there's the Banish. We got a Doll and a Kobe. And now we just go 11k to lead. Nice. Let's see if Kobe wants to do another game. Because I feel like this matchup here is very, very difficult with the amount of blockers this deck typically utilizes. Because if you go 4 Ripper, 4 Doll, and then 4 of the, like the Borsellino, or 2 of the Borsellino, it's still very tricky, because Borsellino can attack the standing units, can remove our small, cheap blockers. I think this deck is pretty difficult for Yamato, actually, in hindsight. Got himself a Kobe off the rip. Hopefully he doesn't have another Searcher here. Okay, Aramaki. Let's go 5 lead here. We finally got the Hawkins and Basil here. Or sorry, the Mihawk and Basil. Okay, so there's that. We did have Hawkins last game too, I believe, if I remember. 5. This is okay. There's another Mihawk. That's a lot of counter we got. A Banish. No blocker on board. I think we're good to go, boys. I'm hoping we get 2 2Ks actually, but you know what, I'll take it. Okay, we got an event, and what's the other one? A Ripper. So we got a blocker and a Ripper off life. Or event off life, sorry. Give me the 2K, please. I wanted to swing with Mihawk first over the Hawkins just to force a 2K. Because I feel like, cool. He actually gave me 2. We'll take that. Put him down to 1 already. Turn 3, by the way. There's the Helmeppo. Sure. Okay. 5 in here. I'm actually going to guard this. I know this sounds crazy, but I think I'm going to guard this Namiya. Because he doesn't have any blockers on board. If perhaps I can save 1 character, we should potentially be able to win this next game. Or sorry, next turn, sorry. Because these 2 characters are both going to clear a body on board. He's going to attack into it again, I think, though. Nice. Sure, we'll take that. And then he goes 5 into the Mihawk. Or 10 into the Mihawk, sure. Goes up to 6. Sure. That's fine. There's a Bonnie. And a good game, maybe? Well, he has a 6k lead, but I think we can win this turn. It's very risky, though. We've got 9k counter in hand, so I think we can do it. Let's swing on this first, just in case he has like an event to pop our character. Can we get there? Alright, that's fair. So I guess we just go 9 into Helmeppo here then. Because he can't guard out of it, which is nice. We'll just clear this off board. And there we go. So he has 3 attacks this turn. Potentially another Hibari. Okay. There's Kobe. Sure. Kobe can attack active characters, 5 lead. So the only thing I have to protect here is the Kobe. And that's it. We're chilling, boys. I meant leader, by the way, sorry. Another banish swing. And well played. Hawkins won the game twice. That's crazy. Good game, man. GG's. Hopefully you guys are cool with another Sakazuki match, because that's what we're doing today. Playing against Yamato, or sorry, playing as Yamato into another Sakazuki, OP12. I do very much miss this leader. I think we'll probably do a deck profile here as well. I think I have a list in which I haven't seen anyone utilize or play around with, because I want to try using things here in this deck list that are pretty spicy, I think. I have an idea with some removal cards that I don't see that often in any other deck other than a particular leader. So, we're going to find out. I do like the fact he's running Jozu. I think that's kind of interesting. I think he probably can get some value there with Jozu. Being able to minus something and just pop something back to hand for free. He trashed Stage. Interesting. Why would you throw away Stage? Unless you have another one in hand. That is really weird. Don't know how I feel about that. But anyway, I feel like this matchup here, Hawkins, doesn't get a lot of value. Just because he can just bottom deck this card. Which is very unfortunate, but at least we eat up some removal, which would be those Hound Blazes. Your boy is taking 10 years. Okay, there's Tashigi. What are we looking for here? Go ahead, draw the Hound Blaze. Oh, got Hina. Okay. That's fine. I'm assuming you're going to go 6 lead. And if you have the Hound Blaze, you Hound Blaze. Okay, never mind. You're just going to go 8 to Hawkins. Sure. You got it. We'll trash life. That typically doesn't happen for me, but we'll take those. Go ahead and play down Izo. Let's do the Banish swing here as well. In hopes that we can do 2 damage. There's no way, right? This, okay. Alright, he had the counter. We got rid of 2 2Ks, which is nice. We might as well just... man. Yeah, we might as well just swing here. Because if he had the Hound Blaze, he's just going to bottom deck the Izo anyway, regardless if we give it the counter. Or sorry, the Dawn for the blocker. And I think getting the attack in here is more important. Throws away Kuzan for a draw, instead of playing Kuzan down to draw a card, then pitching something else to draw a second one. Weird play, but, you know, alright. Because instead of just developing the Kuzan and having 2 Dawn left over, you still have enough to Hound Blaze the Izo and attack into the Mihawk on board if you have that in hand. If he plays the Kuzan, he gets to draw 2, 1 off the Kuzan and then off the leader skill, so... I'm not sure what's going on here. 5 lead, that is cool with me, buddy. Thanks. We get another Mihawk here, which we can Mihawk into an X-Drake if he decides to clear both these characters on board. Gets Rebecca, takes Brooke, plays Hina down. Okay, so both of these characters are gone, I assume. And that's fine. Yep. So we go up to 7 Dawn here. We get another 2k, which is unfortunate. But we're going to go ahead and play down Mihawk here. Mihawk gets me a Ryuma or an X-Drake here, which is nice. Ryuma can pop this. Yeah, he probably gets to draw it back later on, but it's okay. It's a body off board that we don't have to deal with. We go 7 lead. Hopefully we get the Rebecca. Nice. Cool. And then Rosinante can protect our board here. That's my bad. I already played this. That's my fault. Anyway, we'll play Rosinante down past turn. So the only way he can deal with this is bottom decking Rosinante and then dealing with the Ryuma in play. Just because if he gets KO'd by any other card, so Rob Lucci or what have you, I'm chilling. He's gonna go 6 here. I'll go ahead and counter. I'll force him to use things here, I think. I think this is just the better thing to do. There's no reason to give it a -1. Okay, I guess it's for the Brook. Sure, though. Weird, but alright. We'll take that. Tempest Kick. What are you planning here? -3. Another Brook? Okay, 2 Brooks. Fair enough. Wish I could, but I can't because nothing on board is rested, so that sucks. But it is what it is. Hey, there's a kid. A little bit late, unfortunately. We should still be fine, though. Because we can actually burn life here with that other 8-drop kid. And he should be about to be out of 2k counters, I think. Let's just go 9 lead. Okay. Does he have the counter here? You would. You would have Hound Blaze. That's cool. That's my bad. That's my bad. I guess we should have... No. I think we had to attack with Yamato first, right? To put him on 0, so that's fine. Just the luck of the draw, I guess. And I think we can't play any characters this turn. Because if we play the Mihawk, we're playing the X-Drake, right? Then we lose out of our 2k counters. We've got 3 life left. So the potential of us drawing more 2Ks off life is pretty high, or at least drawing 1-drop events. I think if we play the Mihawk here, it's a mistake. So we'll just pass turn. That Hound Blaze was like super perfect, you know? Sure. Trashes that. Like it couldn't have worked out better for him there. Okay, so she's gonna get back Rebecca. Which is okay, because if he attacks with both Brooks and Sakazuki, or sorry, with Leader, if he puts me on 0 life, we can just play down an X-Drake to rest the blocker and then go game. So, we've only seen 1 X-Drake, I believe, so perhaps he won't remember that we have it. I believe we've only seen 1. Yeah, okay, so, well, the second one in hand, but you know what I mean. Plays Kuzan. Then he's going to play Rebecca, I assume? Yep. Rebecca takes a 2k from trash. And then he attacks me for 5? I'd assume? Yep, okay. Sure. Actually, no, we have to guard here. Because next turn we won't survive if we take this hit. Well, we got Dead Man's Game. And sometimes it be what it be. Rest this, and I guess we'll rest that. We know he has at least 1 2k in hand. Can we get there? Uh-huh. Wow. Okay. I don't know if we're cooked. I don't think we're cooked. Right? 4, 5, 6, 7. He has to do 6 Dawn on Brooks, right? So 3 and 3 to swing 7, 7. And that means he goes 2 Dawn on Sakazuki and then 2 Dawn on... Okay, never mind. Alright. I guess I'm wrong. I'll give you a 2k here. That's crazy. Because you could have gone 4 7K swings there. Go 5 lead. Alright, I guess never mind. It doesn't matter if he had gone 3 7K swings. Because we get the Onami here. So we'll just pop the blocker then. I guess even if he had math right with the Onami, it wouldn't matter. Another 5, sure. Unless he's gonna go. You have what, 8 on left? Ooh, the Hawkins coming in clutch. Yeah, he's got 8 on left. Okay. Gets to Rebecca. Draws back another 2K counter. Going 8K lead? Yes? No? Okay, passing turn. Sorry, buddy. You brought this on yourself. And GG. Well played. It's pretty good. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I have no idea how many more games we're going to do. I'm starting to lose my voice already. But maybe like 4, maybe 3, maybe 2. I don't know, man. We'll see. I don't think these games are lasting very long, so we might not even be at an hour. And that's typically how it goes when it comes to Yamato, so who's to say? In any case, we're coming at you guys with another matchup here with Yamato playing into Green Zoro, which is very problematic. But I've learned that in this matchup, I just need to be aggressive. So, as long as I'm going face, that's all I can do. Until I'm able to establish the Eustace Kid on board, and Zoro can't swing over it. Unless he heavily invests Dawn on leader to attack into it, I think we're chilling. Because it's like, if you guard the first hit, you can't attack again, right? Into the character or whatever. So, I think we're fine. Can we get the first double attack off, please? Nice. Okay. You wanna clear the Luffy? No? Okay, cool. That's fine. I feel like that was a misplay though on my part. Going 9K for the first hit there. Maybe I should have just gone 5 and then the following turn played the Izo down with the banish, maybe? So I just gave him a lot of cards here. But Zoro typically doesn't play bodies on board other than things like Cavendish, and he doesn't have the Dawn curve for it right now. He can kind of win on his own, you know what I mean? He's got 3 left. Yeah, he's just going to go 7 lead, leave 1 Dawn up for an event. We get a Banish Nami, which is good. Okay, never mind. No event. I'll take that. Let's clear the Hiyori first. Before we do anything crazy, I think. I guess it doesn't really matter, right? Because we just cleared afterwards here. Just 2K. Oh, I'm sorry, what? Hold up, wait. Why did he give me a 2K counter then just like take the hit? I'm confused. Sir, are you okay? What just happened? Oh. Oh, so he didn't have the counter. He had to just drawn the Perona there. Yeah, he had to just drawn that. And he still didn't have enough counters. He gave me the Cavendish and Perona. I probably really shouldn't record this matchup, but we'll try it. And then I'll also try to find another Zoro later if possible. I think we did pretty good, but I feel like that matchup wasn't like anything to like write home about. So we'll try to find another Zoro later. In any case, we're going to match you guys another matchup with Yamato playing into Pudding here. And this is one of those matchups where I feel like we just kind of run over this deck. You know what I mean? Especially if we get off at least 1 banish swing, we kind of just cook, you know? And speaking of which, let's go 9K lead here early. So I think the faster we get Pudding on 2 life, the more liable we are to win this game. Because she doesn't use a lot of blockers other than things like the 1-drop and then Viola, perhaps? I didn't actually expect the Hawk there, so that's interesting. 4 Dawn. She needs the ramp up as well. 4-5 lead. Double Big Mom in life. That's crazy. You definitely play blockers here. Oh, okay, alright. Now you play blocker? Yes? Play the Viola down? Katakuri. Well, I felt bad a little bit. Not really, but we'll go AK lead here. See if we can banish the Big Mom. Nice. We get a Sovereignty and a Big Mom off that. I'm gonna go 5 lead. No problem. We're at 8 Dawn, right? So she can drop down blocker Katakuri here if she has it. I imagine. Okay, yellow Katakuri. Why bother removing the Izo? Why wouldn't you just heal yourself? But okay, I'll take that. Unless she doesn't have a lot of counter in hand, she was afraid of me attaching Dawn to the Izo, I don't know. Because we're still going to go face regardless here, so. I guess we just go 10k here, just to guarantee this. And then next turn she plays down 10 cost Mom to heal a life. Give this blocker, we'll pass turn over. Right? If she has 10 Mom, I assume she would. 5 lead. That's fine, another 2k counter. Our hand is full of them right now. Yep, so there's the Mom. Burns out Ryuma, which is fine. Passes turn, interesting. I guess she didn't want to give me the banish, but we already have one anyway, so. We have to play this safe. Because if we drop Hody Jones, I think we lose, right? I think we lose if we play Hody. And if that's a 0 cost event or a Beji, we lose anyway. Well, if we play Hody Jones and that happens to be a 0 cost or a Beji, then we lose the game for the following turn. If she plays down a 10 Mom, she rips the life and heals 1 up, and then she has 2 swings this turn, plus lead, which we do have the counter in hand to protect ourselves with. But we won't if we play Hody, so. We'll start off with 7. Sure. Uso Hachi is interesting, because it's not searchable, so a little strange, but we'll take that. I think Hody's the misplay here. But we don't have anything else going on, though. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 12k counter in hand, then plus Dead Man's Game. So we have 15k counter in hand right now with 1 blocker on the field. I think we can get away with it just by giving Izo the extra Dawn here, then passing. Because if we play Hody, we rip the life, right? We get an extra 1k counter, we swing in, we put her on 0. And then she happens to play another Big Mom down just to heal again. Or, that's a 0 cost or a Beji. You know what I mean? We'll take the 2k. And then we'll attach Dawn to the Izo here and pass turn over. What else could we have done there with what we had, you know? That's it, pretty much. We do know that she runs Sovereignty, so I don't think she would spend that Dawn here to pop the Izo, but I could be wrong. Because potentially she could still go for game. 5. You better attach more to that. There you go. So we're swinging 7. I will guard the first hit. She's got 7 Dawn left to play with here, so she potentially could still be a Russian Nell or what have you. Or like a 5-drop Ace. I don't know what her list is. So we'll give you a Onami and an X-Drake. Okay. We get the search with the pudding. What are you looking for? That's cool. There's no way you play Zeus, right? Okay, she plays Zeus. Alright. Sure. Well, I mean, she got what? 2 8k swings and a 12k with Big Mom? We take the Big Mom, then guard out of both the other swings? Because we have the counter for that. even without the Ezo, so. Or the Ezo in life, sorry. Okay. Maybe she's going to attach down the Katakuri here as well. Then she'd go 8-5-7 instead of 8-8-12. Because now she can swing in with Katakuri here as well for another body. Okay, never mind. Goes 9. We got to counter this one and then take the 12k hit. And a good game. Well played. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we'll probably play this game here and then one more after this. And that's probably about it. And we'll dive back into the deck list. Unfortunately, though, with this particular build, I don't feel like I'm getting a lot of value out of Paradise Waterfall. I've had it in hand a couple times. I haven't got it off trigger, obviously, because we're only utilizing one of them. And then on top of that, the 5-cost Jewelry Bonnie in this particular build, I'm not seeing a whole lot of value in this one. I do, however, like I said, have another variation of Yamato, which you guys should be getting that one on either Saturday or Sunday. One of those 2 days. Now, both of these deck lists that I will be showcasing you are going to be a lot of fun. This one here is, I still think is very, very good. There are some tough matchups with Yamato, no matter what variation you are playing against. If you are playing against Jewelry Bonnie, I think that matchup is very, very hard for Yamato, especially if she's utilizing like a Eustace Kid. Consider we can't rest that, but outside of that, I think Yamato could have a good time in this metagame. Especially with Luffy not being relevant anymore with the new ban wave and stuff, or sorry, the ban list coming out. She might be able to hang out, right? Sakazuki's coming back. We get some more 4-life leaders that are still hanging around. Law's still here. But there are still aggro decks where those aggro decks can go wide. Doflamingo, which I think a lot of people are sleeping on. Blue Dofi I'm talking about. Blue Doflamingo, Rayleigh, even Yellow-Green Law. Regardless if that is a 4-life leader, they can just go super wide very, very quickly. I think Yamato has a hard time against these decks that can build wide very fast. But I digress. I think I've been playing this leader for a very long time, and I think a lot of people still very much like this deck. So, I mean, I'm hoping for OP13 we get a lot more support, or support that innately helps out what Yamato wants to do, you know what I mean? So I think this leader still has potential, so we'll see how it goes down the road. In any case, we're going to dive into this matchup here against Shirahoshi. That's quite a bit of cards she's got going on in hand here. But we do have the outs, I think, in this matchup. As long as we can land a banish or two, I think we'll be fine. I'm hoping to get some cards out of hand here. Cool. So we get a 2k here. Let's go and play down Hawkins. We'll pass it over. We need to worry about the blocker that Shirahoshi drops on board that allows her to like manipulate the life, you know, from face up to face down. Because that enables her to get more bodies on board. Shirahoshi can typically smash out, what, I think it's like 2 bodies per turn? Something like that, unless she's utilizing the promo Shirahoshi, which allows her to play more bodies. But Yamato is going to struggle here if that's the case. Yep, flips that down, no problem. Flips up, gets another body on board here. I'm assuming, yep, there it is. That's a scary field for me. We do have Eustace Kid, which is nice. We get the Hody here as well. Let's go ahead and try to get rid of this blocker if possible. Get an X-Drake off that. We'll go 5 lead first, because I think this one she will automatically counter, which prevents her from taking 2 damage here. Then we can actually get cards out of hand and then try to clear board. Okay, 6 left. We'll give the rested to Hody Jones, and then we'll go for the blocker. Please. Nice. Okay. We'll run the Basil into the other one. There's another 2k. So we got 2 cards out of hand. We got a body off the board, which is nice. And now she kind of has to make a decision whether or not to go face or clear my board. If she clears board here, including the Hawkins, we get the burn life, and then potentially play down Eustace Kid next turn. Or we can actually go for game too. Because we burn life, we get a double attack off on Yamato, and then we just go face with Hody for the rest of it. But it really depends on what she decides to do this turn. So what, we're on 9 Dawn for her, or 8 Dawn for her? So she still has access to Hody Jones. I think she got the event earlier too, if I recall. She did, okay. So that means she's got, what, 5 cards in hand, and then 1 that we know of. We'll take this hit. Ooh, it's actually pretty good for us. No trigger here, obviously. I don't really mind if we just leave this on board. Sorry, that's my Discord, not yours. I apologize. It goes 8 here. Again, my Discord, not yours. I'm sorry. There goes 9. Got 6 left. What are you going to play here? I think she needs to have another blocker right now, didn't she? If she has it. Because she hard casts the blocker can go ahead and flip that up and play another body on board at that point. There it is, yep. Now she can use leader ability here. This card is so good. Well, at least for this deck, right? It's really very good. She can freeze Hody, which is really nice. I always hate when I'm doing recordings and someone decides to Discord me. It's just one of those things, man. Every time. All right, let's see. 3 open, 4 cards in hand, 1 blocker up, right? We do have ways around this, though. We could play Dead Man's Game here, technically. That way we can rest a blocker. But that itself is 4 Dawn, right? 4 Dawn, we're at 9. We spend 4, that gives us 5 left. We play down the Onami, and then give us a boost for 3 Dawn and swing that way. That's 8k going lead with double attack. Banish. Actually, we perhaps can get more cards out of hand here as well, and hopefully the double attack can land. She does have the blocker on board, which should be an easy block, because Hody can't swing. I don't really see why she would let this go. Okay, interesting. We know she's got 3 cards in hand and 1's the event, so we'll drop the kid then. Play Rosinante here. I was trying to bait out the block at the very least, and then we could try for it, but didn't work in our favor. And Yamato really, I can't really swing here, right? If I do, we probably could lose game. Probably. At least this way we have 2 events that we can protect ourselves with. And we'll just go 5. We know she's going to guard though, right? Unless she wants cards. Yeah, fair. Okay. I think we're still looking pretty good here. Because now she has to run in 2 attackers into Eustace Kid. I don't see her swinging in with the blocker, but I could be wrong. So what, you Dawn up the 6 drop, you go 10k into Kid. We don't have that much counter in hand, but we should be able to protect him. As long as Hody Jones or Hawkins stays on board, I think we're fine. Okay, alright. I forgot about that guy. Not gonna lie. We'll see you, Rosie. Thanks for nothing, I guess. Maybe we should have played the Chishigi down. I don't know. I feel like Rosie was the right call. Because it forces her to play another body down that's not a blocker in this situation, unless she hardcast another one over the Orihime. But I think that's fine. 12 here. That's more than I thought she was going to do. So we can go 8 to 11. We go up to 13 here. With the Dead Man's Game and the Tsushigi. Then she's got 5 Dawn open. Perhaps for another blocker, or she goes, what, 9 into Kid, leaving up 1 Dawn for the event. So, I think she has a way of clearing this regardless of how we look at it. Hopefully she attacks us here so we get the last card as well. Cool. Who's actually going in for game? Oh, never mind. She's going for Hody. Sure. This we need to have on board, I think. Go ahead and pop this. Make him go restand, go up to 10k. And then we'll give the Tashigi up. Yeah, we could give the Onami, I get it. But in this situation here, we have the Banish Swing for the following turn. Even though she has one Dawn open, we have the Dead Man's Game. There's a Jewelry Bonnie. And I think we're still safe in this regard. Oh, nice, actually. That's really good. Because we can actually drop this down, rest Hawkins, rest the blocker. But I think we get more value if we Dead Man's here. Let me think, hold on. So I have the math. Oh boy. I think Dead Man's is better, right? Because we just get to rest the Dawn as well. Which stops the event from triggering. I think that's how it's supposed to work. So we'll rest this, rest that. She has 3 cards in hand now. We can still get the boost and the 9 flash, or sorry, the 9 flash and the banish here. So there's that. We go 8 and 8, so 9, 8, 8, because we attach 1 for Hawkins, and then we have the 2 rested. There's the banish. Yeah, this should work, I hope. Because she's got 3 in hand, right? 1's the event. Okay. Can we get there, boys? Hey, well played. Only 2k counter. Nice, man. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this will be the last game of the day. I do hope you guys enjoyed this one. We haven't played Yamato here on the channel for a minute. Now, with that being said, I told you guys we will be getting double features when it comes to Yamato, so you guys will get another deck list on either Saturday or Sunday. Again, some people just skip games because they don't like certain leaders, or they just, you know, some people don't hear me, so I just wanted to make sure, get that clear again. Now, this matchup sucks. There's no way around it. Like, Zoro is, he's a problem, okay? He is a problem. But we have ways of dealing with this matchup by just going face and being aggressive. He doesn't really necessarily put down a lot of blockers on board. Most Zoro decks don't use this kid, which is also nice. And then, like, all the cheap blockers that he does typically use, like the one we just KO'd here, they're very restable, you know what I mean? With 9 Flash, with X Drake, with Hody Jones, there's multiple ways of us just going face. This card is really good, by the way. However you say his name, I don't want to butcher it. This is a pretty solid card. It can't be rested by Hody, which is really strong. Anyway, if we get a couple banner swings off against this deck, it kind of just seals the deal in a lot of the cases. Zoro doesn't play a lot of bodies on board. He typically doesn't need threats. The leader is the threat, you know what I mean? And by me having cards on board that activate main, rest this, do a thing, Zoro kind of gets to just pop it and then restand and, you know, hit something else. So let's go ahead and get that banish off here. Go 9k to lead and see what he wants to do. We don't need to do this part, at least. Hopefully get this banish here. Probably not, but wishful thinking, because he left 1 Dawn up. What does he use for 1 Dawn, though? Something I'm missing, right? It's gotta be an event I'm missing. Okay, never mind. We got it. Maybe he didn't have it. I don't know. What do we get there? Get Perona. And Nekomamushi. That was actually huge for us that we were able to get that swing in. Because now Zoro only gets... Never mind, he's got Karina. That sucks. So he's gonna pop Izo, and then he gets to hit us as well. That card is really good, man. Yep. So there's that. We get Mihawk. So we have Mihawk and Hawkins in hand. So technically we can go ahead and do that just to get 2 bodies on board, but that also allows him to just smack into the Hawkins. Yes, he gets to burn a life, which is good. But we might be able to get a double attack in here, then he has to think about whether or not he wants to remove the Hawkins. Because no matter what, he's going to remove the Jewelry Bonnie here. Hold on, let me think. He left 2 Dawn up this time. 3, 4, 5. I could potentially do Mihawk and Hawkins and then into Rosinante. Or we can just do it like this, which will force events, if he has them. Please take the hit. Okay. Oh, what is that? Interesting. 2-sword style, okay. Fair. I knew there was an event I was missing that he typically uses outside of Deadman's game. I just couldn't think of what it was called off the top of my head. It's pretty good. Definitely a pretty good one there. So we go up to 8 here this turn. 4 cards in hand, which is nice. We got rid of 2 events that turn. So definitely worth it when it comes to us. So I think in this situation, he can either clear both bodies on board and then hit us, or he can leave them here because the Hawkins is going to burn life. He does have 1 blocker on board though as well. And we have no Hody or Deadman's game, so this could still be the turning point for him with the Mihawk being established. He's probably going to go 8 here, leave a Dawn open for an event if he has one. So I think he's contemplating on whether or not to remove the Hawkins. Oh, never mind. Okay. Sure. So he's going to pop Bonnie. I'm not sure if that was worth. I don't know. Goes face. Okay. We'll give you the 2K. Speaking of Hody, we got the Hody. So that means we should be able to win here. Because he put down a 2K on board instead of keeping that in hand for whatever reason. I don't know why that was a thing. But maybe we can get through. Because our double attack, I think it has to land. Like Yamato's double hit here has to land for us to go for game. We go 5 with Hawkins. Perhaps he'll let that attack go through for counter, maybe? That feels a little silly, doesn't it? But perhaps the 5K swing can go through and he doesn't have enough counter in hand, and then the 7 one he definitely doesn't have enough counter for, maybe? I don't know, man. So I don't know if he runs with the events here in this build. I don't know what he's running. So let's do 5 first, just in case he has some sort of way of arresting the Hawkins. Cool. We'll take that. Can we get there? I guess we can. Good game? Nice. Let's see if he wants to do another one. Because I typically don't get to see Zoro. Or at least today I haven't really run into Zoro that often, so. Nice, cool. Ooh, this hand is really good. Although it's very greedy, but it's really good. So we have double banish here. I probably shouldn't keep this. We're going to do it anyway, though. I probably shouldn't have, but usually I like to try to find at least a Mihawk in the opener, because that way Mihawk can just get down to Hawkins at some point. That way we can have 2 bodies on board. But the double banish is really, really good here. Yep. There's the Ryuma. I probably should have countered that, honestly. Let's try it. We'll go 7K banish the face. Oh, he had the event this time. That sucks. This card is really good, by the way. Like, you just KO 2 rested characters, man. That is pretty strong. For 1 Dawn, that's pretty good. Well, 3 Dawn, sorry, but yeah. There's the Kalina, rest that. Now we have to remove that card on board as well. Yep. He got 3 Dawn because of the effect here, by the way. So. Now he gets to smack me again for 8K. I think this is kind of the start that Zoro kind of wants to see in the early game. It's pretty rough. Oof, we'll trash this. We do, however, have the Ryuma. So we can play Ryuma down to pop the 4 cost on board if we wanted to, instead of attacking into that. Because that also gives us not a lot of Dawn to work with at that point. Because we can go again for the Nami thing. But it's just going to rest any character that we put on board. That's, you know, that's cheap enough for it to rest. So there's not anything else we can do here besides go 7k to face or play it on Jewelry Bonnie for the search, and then Zoro gets to pop that for free, restand, and hit me again, so it sucks to suck. Yeah. Risky. Let's get cards out of hand. Right? Yeah, okay, get a 2k. Oh, it was probably a bad idea. Like, but there wasn't anything else I was going to be able to do there besides go 7 and then just give Zoro cards. So, at least he's forced to play something here to rest characters before he can pop. Okay, cool. He has another one. Nice. That sucks, man. Yep. So he pops Ryuma, and then we get to pop that, which is good. We'll take that trade, I guess. Assuming... yeah, we'll take this trade, I guess. That way we can pop the Kalina on board. I could guard out. We could. And we can just run Nami into it. Which might be okay, but that's kind of a lot of cards out of hand here. Regardless, we get to pop his character anyway, so we'll just take that out. And then he'll do a free damage, because Zoro's good like that. Yep. Hey, there's Eustace Kid, though. But, unfortunately, they're at 5 life, so we can attach the Dawn to Kid this turn. Which kind of puts us in a very, very bad spot. If they decided to take any of the hits earlier, then maybe. So perhaps we should have gone 7k lead. I don't know. I think we did okay just getting cards out of hand there, but if we had known we were getting the Kid, yeah. Maybe that was the correct move there. Because this is pretty risky here. Where he can just activate an event to restand the pop me. Let's go ahead and burn some cards. Yep. We get a Cavendish and a Kalina again. Get the Dawn, we'll play Rosinante. So now we have 2 blockers. In case he wants to restand himself. Okay, so he has the event. Regardless if he block here, he's gonna restand anyway, I assume. Cool. We'll use Hawkins. Not bad. Get rid of Kid. Yep. Guard this. And we'll guard that again. What a deck, man. What a good deck. Okay. 4. I don't think we can win here, to be fair. Like, we get a body on board with the Nami, but we still have to have 1 more body on board to go for game here. I think even if we had played Hody here, we probably wouldn't have won, unless he bricked up. This will make the, what, 2 banish swings that we actually got off in this matchup? Just if we were able to do damage earlier, then we had the Kid established there, in which he would still be on board. Because we had the counter to protect it, you know? So that might have been a misplay where I decided to go 5 with the banish instead of just going 7, and just getting, you know, damage in there. So that's my fault. Can we get an X-Drake, please? Yes. Yes, we can get an X-Drake. I'll take that. This can also search out the Luffy too, by the way, which is pretty good. Which the Luffy just searches the Kid, you know. Jewelry Bonnie has some sort of purpose here. Some sort of purpose. But for this matchup, Zoro gets to pop it anyway, so. We'll do the thing here. We'll go 5 lead. Yep. You're cool. And we don't have enough counter to survive. We have 2 Dead Man's games to hold up. And this should land anyway. Yep. Now perhaps, if Zoro doesn't have another event, then maybe we survive. Okay, never mind. He has another event. considering he left up 3 Dawn here. That would have been crazy, though. There's 12, and then a 2K. Yep. Good game. What a deck, man. What a deck. We tried, boys. But overall, man, good showing today, I think. Sam was pretty bricked up, too. GG's. Can we do another one? Or are you gonna... of course you are, of course. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the end of the video, in which today we played around with a Supernova variation of Yamato here. I do hope you guys had a good time. This was a very fun deck list for me to build up and play. Now, this is very similar to my previous one here, just with some minor changes, but Yamato, OP12, still hits. Of course, we have some very tough matchups in the format, which haven't really changed as much, with things like Smoker, utilizing Eustace Kid, Jewelry Bonnie, utilizing Eustace Kid. There's a lot of decks in which we cannot rest to go over, but there still are some pretty good matchups here. Even some of the 5-life leaders like Zoro, you can kind of get around. Although, Yamato, still being as flexible as always, can be built in numerous different ways, so you guys can come up with many different deck lists that can do well at your local scene. This one in particular, I had a lot of fun with this one. There are some changes and stuff in which I am going to make to this particular list, in which you guys will see in the next video that should be launching Saturday or Sunday here, with Jewelry Bonnie, 5 cost, and then the 8 cost Mihawk. I'm trying to play around with both of those cards and see if I can get a lot more value. I think both of them are great here for Yamato and can make do with numerous different lists, but we'll get into that in a future video. Currently, this one, I'm going to be taking out the 1-drop Searcher Bonnies here and possibly the Ryuma. I never ever use Ryuma in any variation of Yamato, so I wanted to play around with it and see how I felt. Which, it's pretty good, man. You're killing some prominent 4-cost units with the Ryuma, and you get to play it down for free off the Mihawk. I think that's pretty solid here. There is another character in which I do want to try playing around with in a Wanu variation of Yamato, which is this guy. I don't want to butcher his name, but I think he could be pretty good here, especially with Mihawk being able to cheat him out and being able to just attach 3 Dawn to this. You know, you give 2 from your leader ability plus 1. He can arrest a 6 cost, which is pretty strong. So you're arresting blockers here in this regard. So things like Sanji, for instance, like the purple Sanji, like you're able to arrest this, which is kind of cool. But I've never used the card before, obviously. He's brand new, so I mean, this could be something that I can play around with and see how I feel about it. But being able to play this off the Mihawk, being able to have this played off the Mihawk, you have Slash units, you have Kikinoju as well that you fit into the list. This might be pretty good, but we'll get into that in a future video. Currently, this is what we're playing around with as of now with the Jewelry Bonnies. So I will be taking these out with Ryuma, of course taking out Paradise Waterfall in this particular build, which leaves us with 5 slots. Perhaps we remove the 5-cost Jewelry Bonnie in this particular build as well, and we go from there. There's so many different ways where I can tackle this deck and have fun and create a list that actually works. So stay tuned for my next iteration of Yamato here, which I'm super excited to showcase you guys with Mihawk. In any case, this has been Pawseplays. Remember to hit that like button on these videos so we can get these things floating around, please, and I will catch you guys in the very next one. Stay safe out there. I'll see y'all later.